So my name is Ben Sampson, and I majored here at Chico State with an option in project management and entrepreneurship. So I'm talking about product management, which is not an option here currently at Chico State, but I'm going to talk about how to get there if you're interested in that and what the actual role is. We're working on making an option here at Chico State, but that's to come. So I think the first thing to do is really kind of define what product management is, because you guys have really given me the opportunity to kind of clear the air, because it's been really hard for me to describe what I do for a living, and a lot of people are really confused often. So there's a lot of truth behind this. I don't think my parents really know what I do still. I think a lot of my friends don't really know what I do still, but we're working on that. But the short answer is that product managers build. You can consider us the construction management of technology, and it's kind of complicated. But to frame it up, product managers usually rely and live in tech companies. They're in other industries as well, but primarily function in tech. So what we see here is a Venn diagram showing the user experience team. So this is the team that's designing out the software solutions. So let's just think of Snapchat as an example. So there's a team designing out the Snapchat application. Then we have our technology team. This consists of our developers and engineers that are going to build the actual software. And then we have our business team, so the finance, the marketing, sales, behind that product for, let's just say, Snapchat again. And in the middle of all this is the product manager to make sure this all goes as planned. And product managers can have somewhat of a minimal role in the business and somewhat of a major role in the business as well. But again, essentially what product managers do in a nutshell is we build, and we build all the time, and that's what we do for a living. So a little bit about how I got into building is I started building companies when I was in high school. I started a clothing company called Aspect out of my parents' house, and actually was driving down to Chico selling them at the farmer's market here. And that's how I started getting into business. I was actually going to go to UC Davis and major in exercise biology because I want to be a doctor, but turns out if you can't see the sight of blood when you're getting a syringe put in your arm, it's probably not the best thing to do. So I switched to business, and I came to Chico State because they had a great entrepreneurship program. During my years at Chico State, I started this company called Soul ID. This was how I gained my knowledge in development and design. I self-taught myself all this. I'd say 80% of my education from the university came from just building companies and building Soul ID. It was a huge learning experience for me, and one of the best experiences I could have, and it was fueled by all the mentorship brought here from Chico State. And just a shout out, if any of you are looking where to go, what to do in business, the entrepreneurship program here at Chico State is probably the best place to start to just really round yourself out, and it's just an amazing program in general. So in doing this with Soul ID, it was an amazing experience. It's a large social network for action sports. And again, I didn't know how to design. I didn't know how to develop. Greg Bellinger, who's in the audience here, is a Chico State student as well, and we co-founded it together, and we self-taught ourselves all this. And basically, I didn't even know it, but I was building out my skills to be a product manager. I didn't even know I was doing that. A couple of years later, a little Biz Talk story. Greg Chigaris is the co-founder of this company called Outsell. He's also a Chico State alum, and he spoke at the first Biz Talks. Just how relationships work. Sean connected me with them because I was looking to get in the B2B side of the business, just build a new skill set. After a couple dinners with Greg, he hired me to head his product team at Outsell, and that's where I work today down in the San Francisco Bay Area. So what does the role consist of? And it really consists of a lot of everything. So we do everything from the business development. So if we have an opportunity gap, we do a feasibility analysis. We run the financial metrics. We make sure it's actually feasible to work and build out this product. We then go into the user experience side of things, designing, building out what it's going to look like, how the product's going to work and function. And then we research the design. We do prototypes. We send that to our sample base. We work with clients to make sure that product's actually what they're looking for and it's actually going to work. Then, like I said, the best part about all this, we build. So the product managers manage a team of designers and developers that are going to build out the actual application, and that's what the majority of my time is spent doing, is managing these teams and building out these teams so we can build better, faster, stronger. Then we go out and test and survey the product and make sure it works, come back, reiterate, pivot, make it better, and then we repeat, and we do this over and over and over again. So we're just constantly building, and that's what we do for a living. So when I was in your seats out here, I would hear people speak about what they did for a living, but they would talk about their job descriptions and kind of like how they got to where they are, but I wanted to know what they did on a day-to-day basis. Like, what do you do when you walk through the door, sit down, and get on the computer? What do you actually do? Because I want to know if I actually want to do that. So on Tuesday, I actually documented what I did that entire day at a high level. So Tuesday morning, I walk through the door. I have a morning stand-up with my development team. We have offshore developers, we have stateside developers, and so we bring all those minds together and do that in the morning so we can connect overseas. And we talk about what we worked on yesterday, what we're focusing on the day, and what we're focusing on the day after that. So we get the whole team set up. Then sales development. As a product manager, I know the products better than anybody else on the team. So it's my job also to do sales support. So if a major client we were trying to sell to, I'll go on with SVP of sales and help them sell that product and demo it to the potential client. UX UI design. I love designing. I self-taught myself how to design. It's one of my favorite things to do. I do it as a hobby even. I spend a good chunk of my day and try to find a few hours to design the products. I work with our designers. I tend to be really hands-on with the design process because I want our products to look incredibly sexy. Product research. We don't always have to build everything. There's solutions out there, and technology is scaling so fast and it's getting so good that often we have to make the decision, are we going to make this or are we going to buy this and integrate it into our existing products and platforms? So I'm doing a lot of product research and figuring out what's out on the market, what we're competing against, and what we can actually buy. And then development check-in usually comes in the afternoon. I check in with our developers. Usually there's quite a few fires I have to put out, so I'm putting out those fires, fixing bugs, and making sure we're still on track. At the end of the day, I do a lot of documentation. It's really important that I document everything that we're working on, so when we hire new developers, when we hire more product managers, they can jump right into the process and don't have this lag of education trying to train them on what we're working on. And then I try and do more writing. I'm trying to do a lot of thought leadership and share about product management, what are the best practices, and do actually a lot of writing recently on Medium and in other places as well. Then at the end of the day, try and spend a couple, 30 minutes just thinking about the next day, thinking about the next week, what we need to be focused on, what we need to be doing, and are we going the right direction? So what does it take to be a good product manager? How do you know if you're a good fit for this position? You don't have to be technical. I have tons of people that come up to me like, Ben, I don't have a technical background. I don't think I'd be a product manager. You don't have to be technical. I wasn't technical. I self-taught myself. You don't have to have a CS background to do this. But you have to have a really good work ethic. You have to work really hard at this. There's a lot of pressure on you. Your products are supporting the entire company, and everybody's coming to you, and you have a large team, and you're moving really fast. You have to work really hard at this to build up the skills to do it. Be curious is another point. Like, always be diving deeper, looking how things work, breaking them as often as you can, and then fixing them. A true interest in technology. Again, product managers primarily lie in tech companies. You have to be really involved with the tech scene. I mean, you went through college just loving Wired magazine, Inc. magazine. I was highly involved with the tech scene. You have to have a true passion for that because that's where you're going to live. Be gregarious. I got a lot of help. I didn't do this on my own. I had a ton of people in the university that helped me build the skill set, a lot of my friends. I'm part of numerous product management collectives of thousands of product managers, and we all help each other. Product management's a fairly new role in the industry, and so we all help each other to grow and solve problems and become stronger managers together. A strong sense of good design. I think this is really important. Like, you may not be a designer, you don't have to be a designer, be a good product manager, but you have to have a good sense of what really good design is. You have to be on Behance, looking at what the best designers in the world are working on, and have a strong sense of what good design is and what's going to be successful. Understanding business fundamentals. Again, one of the reasons entrepreneurship is so great as a background is, as a product manager, you have to also understand the financials behind it. You're going to be doing marketing and sales after the product's created as well, to supporting the marketing sales team. So you have to have a really good understanding just of business fundamentals in general. And again, a passion for building. Building is what I love to do, whether it's a business or it's a product. That's always what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. You have to want to build, and you want to be building really good teams and really good products. And just one thing is, I learned majority of my skills as a product manager by failing, and it's the best way to learn. And I always like saying, losers fail and stay down, and winners fail and stand up. It's kind of like the motto I live by, and I just try and fail as often as I can. And I'm going to have a lot more failures than wins, but when I win, we're going to win big. And I want to help, so if anybody's interested in product management, please get in contact with me. This is my email. You can reach out to me on Twitter, and my Medium as well, where I'm producing a number of different articles. I'm actually going to be publishing one next week on how to land a job as a non-technical product manager. It's the article I'm working on now. So thanks so much. Thanks, Biz Talk. Sean, this is awesome. Kai, this is awesome. Thanks, guys.